well, it is 6 o'clock. We do have Shayla online and our two newest CAB members here. So I'm going to go ahead. We do have a quorum with that. And Aaron Jennings is online as well. Aaron, can you unmute? Looks like he's not quite able to. So let's go ahead and we'll take a roll call and then we'll go from there. So we have Teresa Aquila, who's not here. Aaron Jennings is online. Juanita Black has actually resigned from the CAB. Roger Edwards is not here yet. And Crystal Ayers is not here. Shayla's online and Aaron's online. And we have Susan Vaness. Hello here. And Scott Finley is also here. So we do have a quorum, so we'll go ahead and get started. We need to stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance. Pat, can you lead us in that?
I can.
Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. For the 3 people that we do have here, have you had a chance to review the minutes for March 10th?
Yes.
Yeah, as far as I can tell, it was good.
Do we have a motion to approve them?
Motion to approve.
I second.
Second, okay, approved and seconded. Motion will carry, and then we will start with 3 minutes of public comment. So Scott Finley, did you still want to make public comment here, or did you want to?
No.
Okay. And then Tammy Holtz.
For the record, Tammy Holtz still is my name.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I live in the Mill Valley. In January, I took a test of Swan Lake after having done 3 other tests of Swan Lake that were not as complete as the one that I did in January. In January, the test that I took cost me $325, but it did all of the metals and some others, and found that arsenic is 4 times EPA standards in Swan Lake. 4 times. Now, this is not because of Peavine Mountain and the mining, because there was no mercury. This is 100% because of the sewer plants. The metals that are in, that have been found in the lake are 100% from the effluent being discharged from both sewer plants. Because the sewer plants are not cleaning any of the industrial that is being done. And the Washoe County one is only to Class C. Also, it found, of course, the E. coli and the coliform again. So I went to Washington, D.C. with my report. I spoke with Congressman Amday, with Commissioner Herman on March 4th. He promised me on March 4th that within 30 days, we were going to have a meeting with FEMA, with the state of Nevada, with Washoe County, the city of Reno. That didn't happen. So now I'm going to start spreading the word about what didn't happen and start spreading the word about what I did find, so that everybody starts spreading the word that we need to get this fixed. That effluent does not belong in that lake. The city of Reno and Washoe County should not be putting in that playa where the children can get to it, raw sewage, because it's pretty much raw sewage. People get cancer. People get leukemia. There's all kind ADHD. One of the metals in there causes ADHD. And some children from the Lemon Valley area have ADHD. One of the girls that has a home where they were doing the hay, one of her children now has ADHD. And they were spraying Swan Lake to make hay.
Thank you. Did we have anybody else that wanted to speak? Okay, then we'll go on to the public safety updates. We have someone here from TM Fire.
Let you go. I got the number.
He actually has a presentation for us, so if you would like to go, that would be wonderful.
All right, well, sounds good. For the record, James Solero, Truckee Mills Fire Battalion Chief. For the statistics for last month, for April, we had 209 incidents in the North Valleys area. Of those, 96 were medical, which leads the way generally all the time. We had 7 fires last month, 8 MBAs, and then 89 good intent calls with a smattering of others. Open burning has been canceled for the rest of the year until probably October, November, somewhere along those lines. Our crews are out working with the Forest Service. I think you probably all saw the burn that went on last week over in Dog Valley. Our crews were out there helping the Forest Service with that. And now they're continuing with the different mitigation projects that we have across the district. And then the last thing we've got is a new fire chief starting here sometime in the next couple of months. So the commission went ahead and approved a new chief last week. And so we're looking forward to seeing him come on shortly. Do you have any questions? All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and then we'll go on to item number 6.
Everybody, good evening, Sergeant George Gomez, Washoe County Sheriff's Office. Go over a couple of items for statistics purposes, and then I'll roll into the noise complaints. Help you out there. So in regards to first quarter of 2025, in the North Valleys, which is pretty much everything, as you guys know, north of Panther, that we our jurisdiction for Washoe County Sheriff's Office is. Approximately 624 dispatch calls and officer self-initiated calls. That's anything that deputies go and do on their own accord, not being dispatched, a traffic stop, subject stop, citizen hail. 1,338. Then about 808 unspecified through our automated dispatch program. So 2,700 calls for service thus far from the first quarter of 2025 for the North Valley. So very busy. Couple of highlights. Fraud offenses are going up. So any type of computer fraud, Bitcoin fraud. Are you guys all seen the Dear to My Heart? Because relative has been a victim of this fraud in regards to Bitcoin, depositing money into ATMs that have nothing to do with criminal, that has nothing to do with somebody's warrant or anything like that. You guys are aware of social media posts. So spread the word to your neighbors and friends. The sheriff's office, public utility companies, any other law enforcement agency, the courts are not going to ask anyone for their money via phone, depositing money in an ATM. We will contact you lawfully, legally through a notification, or the courts will contact you. So please, that's my biggest thing is please take care of yourselves, your neighbors, and tell if anyone has ask a question. I know there's a North Valleys community forum, whether it be Facebook or Nextdoor. Anybody that has an instance that call us, non-emergency dispatch, and we will make sure to send deputies out and try to mitigate that as soon as possible. And then in regards to destruction of property, those are down significantly from the last quarter or last year during the same time. So just wanted to keep you apprised of that situation. Now I'll roll into noise complaints. What specific questions can I ask? Does anyone have any specific questions over here? And I'll just do a general statement.
You guys don't do anything about noise complaints.
We do or we don't. So
We don't.
let me explain the backstory, and then I'll listen to your grievances and see if I can mediate, and then I'll give you my contact information. We can come to an agreement. Can't come on here after later down the week. So noise complaints are disturbing the peace, so your peace and quiet can be disturbed at any time. It's not our offense, whether like law enforcement can't hear and do something. You guys have to be US citizens. Have to be the ones to be a victim and be willing to sign a complaint. That complaint can be in the form of a written citation we give to the neighbor who's disturbing your peace and quiet, or an arrest if it escalates that far, in which you sign an arrest paperwork, and that's what we call citizen's arrest. Now, dispatch will ask if you call for a noise complaint on your neighbor or somebody down the street or around the corner, and if you're not willing to sign that said complaint, we will not come out and dispatch ourselves. Dispatch will not dispatch deputies to that. Now, if you say you're willing to sign a complaint, you should have a deputy come in contact with you, whether a telephone to explain the process, so everybody's citizens are aware, or make contact with you at your residence. Anyone have a question on that policy or procedure?
Okay, that's not what the NRS says.
What does the NRS say?
The NRS never says that you have to sign a complaint. I have the NRS and I've read the NRS because I just had this issue with the dog and the issues with the dog barking. Okay, the NRS never says that you have to sign a complaint. The NRS talks about the fact that you are to enforce by decibels. It talks about decibels. And if there is a band or somebody using speakers 3 blocks away from us, mariachi music that is going 3 blocks away from us, and we can hear it at our home, you know, the decibels is way too loud.
Okay, so let me further explain. So disturbance of peace, noise ordinances are misdemeanor offenses, okay? Misdemeanor offenses have to not be law enforcement driven. So it can't disturb our peace and quiet, and they are occurring outside our presence. So you have to be willing to sign and saying, I want to go forward with this crime. Because it's a misdemeanor offense not in our presence. Yes, if we're there and we can hear it, and you're willing to say, hey, I would like to cite this person, deputy should be going and handling it. They know, okay.
And I presume you're signing under the penalty of perjury or something like that, you're not making.
That you're making true fact statements, yes, yes. So misdemeanor offenses, if law enforcement actively don't see that offense being committed, we can't do anything unless a citizen wants us to do something, i.e. sign a complaint or arrest a suspect, and we develop probable cause for such.
You know how I handled it, and I'm gonna keep handling it this way,
How?
is I record it, and then I turn around, or I call Sheriff Phelan, and I put my phone up, and when Sheriff Phelan gets a phone call from me at 12 o'clock at night, and he gets a message from me where he hears the phone ringing, and he hears it, then maybe he'll get his staff out there to do something. And I'm gonna keep doing that.
Okay, have you done that and have deputies responded out to you?
Yeah.
They have met with you? Perfect. But that's what it takes, then yes, but it shouldn't. So if you call the noise disturbance and you say, I want to sign a criminal complaint.
I'm signing a complaint because those neighbors will then turn around and harass me down the road.
Then we will file a police report for harassment and go down that road. You shouldn't be bullied into not doing something.
It just doesn't work that way. I'm sorry. It doesn't work that way.
Well, I will go back and speak to my superiors and leadership and see what we can do. What would you like? What would be a good outcome that you would recommend?
Well, we got concerts going until 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning.
I think you guys should at least be patrolling. There's no reason that you can't, when you're driving around at night, that you can't drive through the back of Lemon Valley once in a while.
Okay. And
There
where
is
is talking
no
exactly?
reason for it.
I know one problem house on Lemon, but where are you talking exactly? Give me a general area, don't give me your address, but just a general area that I can have to.
They're usually, I live on Tupelo and it's behind us.
Okay, the same house all the time?
It's usually between
We got,
Water Ash and Oregon, back in the back there.
Is there a certain time weekly that is a common
It's
occurrence?
usually Fridays, Saturdays.
So you would like some more patrol assets to go through the neighborhood around the time on Tupelo in that area? Okay,
12 o'clock would be perfect.
okay. Around midnight, 11 to 1 a.m. time? Okay. Yeah, we can work on that. Now, Bar, I say that now, right? It's not an easy thing because if deputies are dispatched to other types of calls, it's hard, right? We go off priorities, that noise complaint would be priority 3 in terms of priorities of how we stay on calls.
But if
Right,
you guys start doing it, then they're gonna start thinking, well, maybe we shouldn't be doing this, and then they will, maybe they'll stop.
I understand that. Yes, ma'am.
And let's also like to talk about the noise that comes from all the off-road vehicles that are flying down Ramsey all the time, flying down Lone Valley, have their music blasting all hours of the night, no license plate, going well beyond the speed limit, and this is there's the enforcement for them. I just saw on, was it Friday night, there must have been a group of 20 of them flying down Lemon to go to that taco trucks stand.
Like around Lebanon, Swords, that area?
So I live off of Ramsey.
Okay.
Ramsey is a terrible shoot.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, but they were flying down Lemon Drive, they came up to Lemon and Buck, maybe you turn and went to that taco truck that sits by the AutoZone there, and none of them had license plate, they were blaring music, had red and blue lights flashing like crazy. At first I thought it was like some sort of.
Yeah, like, what is going on?
Yeah,
No.
they're awful.
Yeah, it's reckless driving, causes traffic concerns. It is something that our motor unit is aware of, but it's not isolated just to the North Valley. It's all over.
Yeah.
So they do have dedicated enforcement every day, different times of day. They go to different areas of town. So I will bring that up again. I'm assuming it's more on the weekends as well, or is it just random?
We've got it all the time.
All the time. Weekends are probably the worst, but all the time.
Okay.
Yeah,
Side by sides are going on down Lemon Drive to go up to the grocery store now.
yeah.
Well, I
They
think.
go to Buck and back.
Can I get you guys to state your names for the records, please?
Caitlin Finley, and their blasting music to it is deafening.
Okay. So again, same concept. We have a little bit of a double issue there. We have reckless driving, maybe juvenile driving when they shouldn't, parents not appropriately disciplining and watching their children. Then we have the noise complaints, because again, you can disturb the peace and quiet with a car radio just as you can, like you said, a van. So I will definitely reach out to the motor unit as well for the public safety aspect, where anyone wants to get hit by a car or hit one of those side by sides. So that's one aspect. And then again, now maybe help curb them doing that, because there is education with off-road vehicles. We do it a lot in Spanish Springs area, because again, pyramid people get the same thing, but you can't. You can go to and from, like the ATV, or not ATV, but dirt land, beyond land, but you gotta be close, within 2 miles. But you're not driving to the street, you're not coming, go all the way to the gas station, you can't do that. So it is public education, and we try to do that. Again, it's hard with the limited resources we have, always control every part of the county at the same time. But I will definitely make note with the motors unit and have them try to go around there and do dedicated enforcement. We definitely have two additional, we have 2 dedicated DUI units. I can also have them float that way, because again, people sometimes drink and drive those. So again, to make the road safe for everybody, the public, that would be something we can work on. So I appreciate it bringing it to my attention.
They're going 60, 80 miles an hour down lines.
Definitely reckless driving.
Crazy, yeah.
Understand, I'm sorry. But
It's just not side by sides either. It's, we got 4-wheelers and dirt bikes racing up and down, letting them drive all the time.
around the same area, we're talking more back towards the lake.
It's back in the same area.
Okay.
You know, they're not going to and from a dirt
No, they're
accident.
not.
You know, I mean, they're flying. And when I was growing up, I got pulled over on the dirt road behind some houses. And they said I was too close to the houses to even be riding my dirt bike. They had my parents come, pick up my dirt bike and me, and take me back home. Now, I would say this is probably 10 years ago, the kids next door, they couldn't ride their dirt bike from their house over to the pits or anything, because they got busted by the cops. And had the parents come there and gave them a big old tongue lashing.
They probably never rode it yet illegally.
If that's illegal, then why are all these guys running up and down Plymouth Drive?
Education, not knowing the law, thinking they can get away with it. Not enough proactive law.
Every
Fourth.
Saturday every Saturday morning from 8 o'clock in the morning, all day long, and Sunday too. Even in the afternoons, the kids are now when they get out of school, since it's summertime. They're on their bikes and they are going all the way down to below to get out to the field.
Okay.
And they're zooming, zooming, zooming.
Dangerous, right, for them and for citizens in the community driving to and from their house. And so I understand your frustration. It is something we constantly combat. There's not a day that goes by where we don't have a couple of those calls for service. Again, they are stacked in order of priority. Deputies do go in the area, but sometimes it's too late, right? Because it takes time to get there. And then we're in the area, but they're nowhere to be found. But we're not chasing people on dirt bikes, juveniles, especially quads. It's not safe. So we will do the best we can, but if they take off and there's no immediate threat to the public, then we're not pursuing those individuals. Go ahead, man.
Is it possible to put some signs for people
That's something that the county commissioner or someone in that realm would be great to do. So that's something I can pass along and try to see if we can do that, to just have some type of signage sporadically, just put, different places around the North Valleys. I think that would be a great idea, absolutely.
Can I add to that?
Yes, ma'am.
Caitlin Finley, if they could have something that's stating like horses have the right of way or something like that, and if they are very aggressive around horses, and how they drive, would be really great, it's very dangerous.
Especially if you're riding a horse and you get bucked up, absolutely.
I'm in Woodland Village now for private security and it's kind of fun. But,
Doug Marco for the
Yes.
record.
we're having issues with the dirt bikes going down to the trails and into the parks. And we actually had a 5-year-old hit or brushed on like with dirt bike a few days ago, but but we're having issues where our security, we need to direct our security when to call the sheriff's department about it's normally something on priority or your security or their names and stuff like that. Is there a better for us?
You can always call dispatch for name, right? If it's not an emergency, don't call 911. Right? The time of the dial 911. But you can call dispatch, non-emergency dispatch. Just say 785 WCSO. And just say, hey, this is what's going on. Can we have deputies come out? We will send deputies, time permitting, call volume permitting, to the calls for service. Dispatch can't cancel calls. Only a sergeant or above can cancel the call. So
I think our security officers, like the impression I'm getting, they're more hesitant to call versus like maybe I can talk to the kids because I'm in uniform. We're having that kind of,
yeah, they don't have any.
and that's exactly what
Any-
you're a civilian. You're
Yeah,
not,
exactly.
and that's something.
No
So,
allowance by the
when you
law,
get your-
like people in arrest to do it. So have them call, if you can relay that information. For if they need law enforcement assistance, call, report what's going on. If the person on the dirt bike takes off, they can report that information, description. So then when deputies come in the area, we can at least try to locate that, right? Because if that little girl got hit or someone else gets hit, it's not good. It's not good for anybody. And I don't know how it works with the homeowners association up here in regards to the trail, like maybe a community bulletin, please advise the children, whoever, you cannot be riding dirt bikes in between the red fence posts and all those trails, or on the street. But again, if they call, they have no authority to enforce any law, they can definitely call us to help assist. You're welcome.
Really that.
Yeah,
Like, I
please.
wanted to have a trip.
We're here to help. You can always, as call taxpayers, is what our service is.
Definitely.
Respond. Have a question?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Susan Bennett. This goes to dogs.
Okay,
Okay, we're having some problems in Woodland Valley with the dogs. However, there's one that I'm wondering how we could fill out one for the sheriffs.
okay.
What I would like to know though is animal control communication to the sheriff's office. Yes, it's the citizen's responsibility to call the sheriff's office. There was a vicious attack, and I'm gonna help him because he didn't understand. He thought that animal control was the one that he filled out the forms with. However, we have a terrible problem in Lemon Valley with dogs, and some of them are becoming very aggressive.
Okay.
And for me, I took a CCW class and I was told that yes, if a dog comes in into my yard and becomes vicious within my, but Is there communication between animal control and the sheriff's office? Because there should be.
If there's any animal related service calls, and we're not talking about livestock, we're talking about domesticated animals, a couple other animals. The Washoe County Regional Animal Control handle it. If they need our response as law enforcement, we will assist them. And we do assist them with warrants to remove animals from homes. So we do have a communication line between animal control and us, and dispatch is the mediator for that. They will contact animal control dispatch. And if animal control dispatch says, hey, I'd like deputies to respond with my animal control officers, we will send deputies.
Otherwise, it's the citizen's responsibility, because you will be hearing about this, but I'm talking about the warrants and send it to, because it was a vicious.
Animal control should be followed up and doing an investigation.
And they're not.
Okay.
And it's been 10 days for him, so I will be helping him get that filed, and I think he ought to file it, with the sheriff.
Definitely doesn't hurt to follow
Went to the
on.
hospital, dog, their dog on a leash.
I can't speak for their policies and how their procedures, because I don't work for animal control, but I would implore you to call them again and just ask for a supervisor. Someone to tell you, hey, I'm calling on behalf of my friend, give them the address. This is what happened. I'm trying to get some more information. Is there an investigation ongoing? Has there one been initiated? Why hasn't one been initiated? And then go down that route and see, what you can do to shake that tree a little bit and get some response. Because you might think they haven't done anything, but maybe they have, or maybe they're in the process of it. So just ask for speak to a supervisor and get the clear information. But we do help them 100%.
I'm Tammy Holtstill for the record. My issue that I had last year, it took me 20 calls, 5 records, and I had to go all the way up to the supervisor to get anything done. And nothing got done. I finally had a sheriff come out. I had video. And it took a sheriff finally to have something done.
Okay. So we'll go down first.
If there's again any life saving or not life saving, but issues with life, like the dog's aggressive, it's going to attack me, my parents, my family, my pets, you can still call us and we will have animal control respond as well. So it's a two-way street. We're never going to not help protect somebody if needed.
Absolutely.
Is that all the questions we have for the gentleman? Thank you very much. Oh, go ahead.
Louise Dufresne. My question is, I don't quite understand legally, the last few exchanges. If a vicious animal, a domesticated vicious animal is in your yard, do you, in one hand you have the phone, in the other hand you have a gun. And within seconds, something terrible is going to happen. Can you kill that animal? And then call the sheriff and say, this is what happened.
I'm not going to give a yes or no to that answer.
Well, I want to understand the circumstances and what's legal and what's not legal. So
Well,
I don't understand.
Discharging a firearm in public is against the law, right?
In public, on
On
your
your property,
property.
in your house, so where someone can be jeopardized. But we also have laws for standing ground and protecting yourself, right? As long as you're legally able to own a firearm, possess one, and you're defending life and property, then you can do what you see fit. I'm not here, nor will I answer like one way or the other, tell you what to do. If you feel like you should use a firearm, then you use your firearm, as long as you have a justifiable legal reason to do so. If that makes sense. Just don't call it.
Yeah. Because it'll take you at least 10, 15 minutes. In the meantime,
Unless we're in the area, it's not, the North Valley is vast.
Right.
We don't have dedicated just deputies stationed in each area. You have deputies in each beat, whether you know or not. One should be in Cold Springs unless they get pulled somewhere else. 2 are in Golden Valley, Lemon Valley, unless they get pulled off. So a lot of times Sun Valley deputies come. So I understand your frustration with that, not having timely response. Now I don't have an answer for you today. My go-to has me reach out to the county commission, ask for more deputies to the sheriff's office, or we can put more deputies on patrol. A blanket answer, I know that, so I apologize, but that is the reality of it. But you have to safeguard yourself and do what you feel best is for you. And the deputy responds because neighbor called, or you called saying, I just shot a wild animal that was about to attack me. And we take a report, we investigate, we do what is right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you, I appreciate your time.
Okay, so requests from previous CAB meetings. I was actually not here at the last CAB meeting, so I'm not sure what request came, but I know the request from the CAB meeting before, and they wanted to see how to check up on their development. And so what I'm going to do with you is share the screen, and I'm actually going to skip over that and go to number 8 and show you the development hub, how to check up on your CAB to see what's going on with the CAB area and how to sign up to be able to get the email sent directly to you. So you don't have to be looking for the stuff. We can get you signed up so you can do that. And so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. To the screen first, and then when I go through, I like to go to the Board of County Commissioners screen to start with. And then this is the screen if you go to washoecounty.gov. And then you just look up find your county commissioners. And that's what I normally go to. And this is the screen you'll get to. Underneath them, they have Board of County Commissions right here. You have your citizen advisory boards. And then here, other boards and committees and volunteer opportunities. If you click on the volunteer opportunities, it will come up with this and show you the actual volunteer opportunities that are available. But you can also up here where it says view vacancies. This will show you the boards and commissions that are open. So we have these ones open right now. Board of Equalization, the Nevada Local Justice Reinvestment Coordinating Council, that's a mouthful, and the Washoe County Board of Adjustments. Once you click into them, you'll see this one. It gives you a bunch of different information as to how many people they're asking for, what the terms are of these, and how to apply. And then down here, it'll tell you when you need to apply by. So you'd click on that apply online, and that would take you right to that if that's the one that you would like to apply for. You can do the same with either of the others. It's the exact same way on that. Then go back to Board of County Commissioners. And we also have the hub. So here's the neighborhood hub. Little slow. This shows you all the upcoming as it circles. This will show you all of the upcoming project that's coming up. So they have the Palomino Farms tentative subdivision map. I'm just going to pull that back just a little bit so you can see all the different ones that are going on in our area or in Washoe County. I don't know that there is anything for right in the North Valleys area going on right now, but if you wanted to look at what was once the development projects go from there, they get moved to where it says Washoe County applications. You can click in there, and then over on this side, it will show you your commission district. So here's all the applications in District 5. So we have the Red Rock Road abandonment, Sierra Vista, and you can just go on straight down and see all of the different things. And then that way you can make yourself aware of what's going on in your area.
Thank you, Sally. I specifically asked for that. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
That's why I said I would just go ahead and go on to the other part. And it just makes it super easy for you guys to go ahead and see what's going on. And then if you want to come down to here where it says sign up and receive district news and other topics, you click on there. You'd put in your email address and then click on whatever you would like to know. So it's like if you want to everything from the audit committee, you can get that. Anything from District 5, including the cab announcements, you would click on District 5. Job openings for the county, property taxes, what to do with your trash, air quality, food safety, anything with an NPH and community and reinvestment. And if you would like, after the meeting, and you would like to get signed up, I can go ahead and sign you up right here. Okay, so that is the end of a neighborhood hub and other engagement opportunities. Now we have board member announcements, requests for discussion. Go ahead and stop sharing my screen. We can see we have anything online. Do you, as a board, do you guys have anything you would like to share?
Now, this is for suggestions.
This is suggestions for you guys, yeah, that's,
I am not understanding why, some cabs are able to use the library. And our cab was always at North Valley's library in Golden Valley. And I would like to find out who I could ask.
oh, most definitely. And I can actually tell you what happened with that. In November of last year, I received an email. Me and Teresa Aquila received an email from the North Valley's library, and we were told, with WC1 not passing, and that they were not going to be able to let us use the library anymore for after hours. And so I had asked them about why, because they still have their funding. And they said it was more because they could not hire another person. They were down on staff. They could not hire more people because they did not know what the funding was going to be. And so from January 1st, they told me we no longer had access to the library for after hours. And that's when our cab meets, is after hours. I assumed that we still had it because, like I said, the funding, we did not lose the funding until July. And so, or they wouldn't lose the funding till July. I mean, I'm sure that they had other things to do as well. And I was told, no, that was staffing purposes and that we did lose the library completely. And so I was on a mad hunt to find us someplace else to meet. And Commissioner Bonnie Weber, when she was the commissioner, had this place set up with the big screen TV and the Wi-Fi. So we were able to meet at this building.
So was that a directive that came from the librarian?
The library,
Or did it come from the library trustees?
the manager of the library told me we no longer had access, and
What's her name?
it was Jonna. I can't remember her last name, but it was with the director of the library.
Director of the North Valley. Okay.
And I got the letter in from her from the, and it wasn't from the trustees, it was from the director of the library at the time and from her.
The director of the library at that time, have they named a new one yet?
They have an interim, I cannot remember her name.
And the,
Oh, yes, Commissioner. We do have other cabs that meet in libraries, and they are after hours, but they have separate meeting rooms. And that particular library does not have a separate meeting room. It's right in the middle of the library. And so we are given, in those other cabs, we're given the code to the door. So we're not in the library, we're in the meeting room. And then once the cab's over, it's up to the staff to clean up the room.
there is a separate room for meeting.
There
is in North Valley.
And the North Valley's library, there is a separate room.
Not arguing with you, just telling you what I was told.
Right, so it's not on you, but I'd like to follow up with
Thank you.
Donna. And then maybe go to the interim director and
Oh, definitely.
ask.
Why don't we have it at the North Valley's parking?
Sure.
They have, for the meeting time that we were requesting, they already had something booked in there. And like I said, this was
Yeah, I don't
already
think
set
this
up
is
with
on
the,
you. I think this is more.
yeah, I tried everything I could find to get us something more centrally located. for this, and I tried the North Valleys Park because they have a gorgeous meeting room there as well. They said that they had something set up for that night, and I asked them for the second Monday of every month, and they said that they had something already set up for that, and they couldn't cancel that one. I tried for the Westbrook, they don't have Wi-Fi. The Westbrook Community Center, because that's still more centrally located in North Valleys, and they don't have connection to Wi-Fi. That's why we're here.
Could I ask you one more question?
Of course.
I have been hearing that they've been wanting the cabs to be not every month, maybe every other month, but I would like to suggest that they're every month. Because things are changing, and I think the citizens need to be involved monthly and not cancel. I was at the Spanish Springs we were there also, and they were talking about the toll road, but then they also brought up the RTC, and we're talking about the road that came over the mountain to Chickadee. And I think all of the citizens ought to be involved in any discussion that comes there. And even though they have separate meetings, I think we ought to have monthly meetings to keep the citizens involved.
And this cab is set up for monthly.
Good, so they're not going to skip.
They're talking to us about
And they are,
overtime, my supervisors.
okay,
And I mean, there was still in budget talks. We are talking about the overtime, because this is overtime for staff.
Okay.
To come to these, because we still have our 8-hour day that we still have to do.
right.
And so they are looking at how they can meet the needs of everybody, plus still have the meetings. This one has not been changed. I mean, it hasn't even been suggested as of yet.
Well, excuse me, Tammy Holstill again for the record, I was a state employee, and when we had to do, I worked during the last budget crisis there was in 2008. And when we had to do something like this, our work schedule was adjusted. So we didn't work these hours, so we worked these hours. Why can't you do that?
Because I still have the work to do.
Well, we all do. We all had to make sacrifices. I mean, come on.
Excuse me, I'm not gonna argue with you. I still have that work to do during the day. This is something that is extra on my plate.
Maybe they can quit giving everybody raises.
As a state employee, I had to do things, I had to sacrifice in 2008. I don't have any sympathy for you because I knew what I had to do, and I don't see why the Washoe County.
Excuse me, I'm just giving you some information. This isn't a personal thing. Is there any other announcements that you'd like to make?
Not for me.
No,
Thank you.
Okay. And is there any other public comment?
I have a question, I don't know if you can answer. Is there a requirement on how many meetings they have to attend before they're kicked off?
There is.
There is?
There is.
Okay.
There's 3 meetings without notice. If they don't notice us, that they're not going to be here for 3 meetings in a row.
Not very easy for 2 people to get.
No, and and these people have been wonderful. They were just appointed tonight, so they don't even have their name tags. They haven't been given any of their stuff. And so I appreciate them for coming up here and making sure we have a quorum with who we had online. Is there any other public comment? If you guys would like to call for an adjournment.
sure. I call for adjourning the
Okay,
meeting.
would you like to second?
Second.
Okay, meeting is adjourned.
Thank you so much.